Thank you for joining in today. I hope everyone's doing great. Before we start off with the masterclass, I just wanted to know if everyone can hear me clearly and can see my screen. All right, wonderful. So one thing which I wanted to tell you all was that for people who have used our learning platform Quantra before, you guys can kind of fire up that IPython notebook in your browser and kind of run it along with this session. For anyone else who is not used the Quantra courses before or not used the IPython notebook in that, you can just but know how to use the Jupyter Notebook can do the same. So, and why I ask you to do this is only because we'll be going through some codes when we'll be developing a strategy and basically in the strategy ideation phase. And I think that it's going to help you a lot if you practice the code along with me. And so, yeah, I mean, if anyone pleases, then please go ahead with that. And so then I think now everything is in order. I've told you this, and we can start. Now, in today's masterclass, which is also the third webinar of the 10 years of Quantitative series, Dr. Liu and I will be focusing on the entire journey of ideating, creating, and implementing an automated trading strategy. However, there is one housekeeping thing which I wanted to tell you is that while we'll be doing the presentation, we would humbly request you to keep the questions for the Q&A time because we have allotted 10 to 15 minutes for it. And it'll be very, very convenient for us to actually look at your questions and not miss out on any important question if you write the question at that point in time. So it's just a humble request. I hope it'll be okay with you. Now, for our introduction, I'll tell you that Dr. Hui Liu is the founder of the Running River Investments LLC, which is a private hedge fund that specializes in the development and implementation of many automated trading strategies. He is also the author of a flexible and very easy to use Python package that interacts with the main interactive broker C++ API called IBridgePy. However, in this session, you will get to know a lot about the application of the API, that is the IBridgePy API, and about the developments which actually allow the traders to get connected with the leading brokers. Now, I'll keep it as a surprise for many of you who do not know about it because it's a wonderful development by Dr. Liu. And I would not go too much into the depth of this particular API because I know that I wouldn't be doing justice to it. And we are lucky to have the author of the API with us. So yeah. Now about myself, my name is Aditya Gupta. I'm working with the product and content team at Quantitative, where I'm focusing on developing various avenues so that we can reach the desired scalability for our products. And before joining Quantitative, I was working in the domain of alternative investments and have also traded derivatives of fixed income, mainly European fixed income and commodity derivatives for a prop desk. And as a part of my entire career, I've also briefly been a part of a listed finance company with the team, quantitative research team, basically. However, one note which I have about myself is that I'm not particularly from the quant background. I am from a non-programming background. However, after seeing the advantages of algorithmic trading and quantitative analysis, I basically switched from discretionary trading, which I was doing at the prop desk using technical analysis, and started my journey. And so here I am trying to just kind of, it might look like a monologue, but I'm just going to kind of tell you about my journey and what I learned, and I think it will be very, very useful for anyone who is also interested in creating automated trading system. Now, in order to understand or create an automated trading system, we need to first understand what's automated trading. And I think I would shoot out this question to the audience, like what actually is automated trading, according to you? Trading by a set of rules. Yes, Gaurav. Actually, trading by a set of rules would be something which would come under systematic trading. So when we are considering automated trading, basically what we're trying to do is we are executing the trades using a pre-programmed trading instruction, and which allows a trader to completely automate the trading process. Now, when we're thinking about the trading process, we're actually talking about three main things. Those are order generation, order placement, and order execution. Now, this particular picture which you're looking at is just a reference picture which I'm showing, so that we're going to discuss it later in a little bit more depth. But this is just a simple picture where you're getting the data source. You have a little block where you've done your analysis, and after running the data source, your trades are getting executed to the trading platform. Now that we know what automated trading is, and automated trading is basically a synonym for algorithmic trading. So we now can look into the steps involved in algorithmic trading. Now, the three main steps which we look at are research and backtesting, paper trading, and live trading. And it may come off as a surprise to a lot of people. Research and backtesting actually takes 90% of your time. And that is because you'll be doing a lot of analysis, you'll be coding your strategy, you'll be backtesting, optimizing, there'll be a lot of things involved. So let's go with each step carefully. Now, first step, we do the analysis. Now, we have three types of analysis. First is quantitative analysis, technical analysis, and fundamental analysis. For technical analysis, basically what we're doing is looking at the historical price charts, identifying various patterns, and then using those patterns to further predict the price. In fundamental analysis, we are basically studying company financial statements like balance sheet, profit and loss statements, cash flow statements, and also analyzing micro and macroeconomic factors. All of this, which is done, is to figure out if the stock value or the current stock value is overvalued, undervalued, or fairly valued. And accordingly, we take a position. However, in quantitative analysis, what we're trying to do is we're using mathematical models and statistical analysis to analyze the data. So we try not to have any bias. We try not to have any preconceived notion. We're just seeing what the data is trying to tell us. And then using that data, we try to compute a strategy. That strategy is something which will basically define what your buy and sell signals would be, and how would it, how basically you'll be carrying that out. Now, imagine, before we start from that, I just want to cover, like, from a very, kind of a practical point of view, a trading strategy is nothing but an algorithm that takes in the data and gives out the series of orders. So it processes it, it tries to understand what the data is telling, and then just gives out the buy and sell signal. And once we have developed that strategy, basically we have kind of not developed but computed that strategy, we then try to develop it. And in this development phase, we try to use a programming language. So it differs. So programming language is something which you might be comfortable with. Some people are comfortable with. Some people are comfortable with Python and according on their preference, they develop the strategy. We'll also be developing a very simple strategy of moving average crossover in this masterclass. And I'll show you in a bit how we're going to do that. And after we develop the strategy, we're going to get into backtesting, where basically trying to take historical data, run our strategy on it, and try and understand if it has performed properly. We're going to do that as well. And after we have done the research and backtesting, we move on to the paper trading phase, where we are basically running our strategy using real-time prices, but not risking any capital. So we're basically trying to practice and try to see how our strategy would perform in real-time market, because during backtesting, we're only using the historical data. So we do not have a lot of idea how it would actually perform in the live markets. And in live trading, we just basically, the one thing that was remaining was actually earning profits or losing real money. So on the basis of that, we're basically now shifting to live trading when we're confident that our strategy has performed well during backtesting and paper trading, and then we basically put it into live markets. Now, one thing that about paper trading is that a lot of people have their understanding of how much they should run their paper trading strategy. Dr. E.B. Chan actually says that you should run it for at least 3 months, and he also does it for 3 months. So that is a time that you can take as a benchmark, probably take as a benchmark time frame. And in order to connect with the live trading bit or the paper trading bit, you would need broker connectivity, so that you can get the real-time prices and kind of send the orders to the exchange in case of live trading. And for that, you need an API. And that is where IBridgePy actually comes into picture. We'll again, I said that we'll be going more into depth with Dr. Liu to understand how IBridgePy works. Now, this is basically the strategy spectrum. So what you're seeing is on the vertical front, you're seeing the types of analysis which are there. And on the horizontal front, you're looking at various profit drivers. So for when you'll be ideating a strategy, somewhere or the other, your strategy would lie into this spectrum. All right. For example, if you just take something based on event-based, a quant would probably use sentimental analysis, and for example, from understanding the sentiment from Twitter, and then taking the trades on the base of the news or the sentiments that's coming out from Twitter. Usually, a technical trader would not delve into an event-based profit driver because they would want to stay out of the market. So that's why you're seeing it's nothing much here. And fundamental also, it's probably going to be discretionary because while they're analyzing the micro and macro economic factors, they basically decide on themselves like how the price will impact the particular stock price. So what we basically, and I think the best thing you can do right now is take a screenshot of this particular slide. And when you actually ideate your own strategy, you can refer to it to see where your strategy is lying. So I hope everyone's taken the screenshot so we can move ahead. Now, so we have covered this part. Basically, quantitative analysis is using, mathematical models and statistical analysis to basically understand the data, and it's used for creating quantitative trading strategies, used for quantitative research, and particularly it's used for portfolio management. Now, when we are actually carrying out quantitative analysis, we're trying to understand historical data with the help of math and statistics. Now, when we are doing that, we try to basically turn that data into insights, and that helps us to create the strategies as previously discussed. However, compared to other analyses, quantitative analysis actually helps us a lot to understand the risk management. And that is why people use it. And it's a wonderful tool to actually see or calculate the take profit or stop loss levels to put across with the strategy. So that is one thing that it has a little bit of an uptick over any kind of analysis. Now that we have understood the basic structure of how the presentation would be and how what analysis are usually considered, we'll now dive into the strategy creation process. For this, we'll basically look at this function where I told you that I've basically created a simple moving average crossover strategy. Now, I'll go into brief, do it in brief. So that you can take the screenshots for reference, and also I would request you to practice this in your own IPython notebook to see how it's working. So basically, what we're doing is we're trying to import all the libraries here, which is pandas, numpy, matplotlib, which we'll be using for plotting, yfinance to getting the data, and tabulate for tabulating the performance metrics. Now, using the yfinance data, yfinance library, we basically imported Tesla data from 2015. And when we basically run this, we get the open, high, low, close, and volume data. And as I've done the data.tail here, we're getting the last 5 data points. And here's the plot of the price of Tesla. Now, in this section where what we're basically doing is that we're calculating the simple short-term moving average and a long-term moving average. And I've given the number of days for short-term moving average is 126, that is 6 months of trading days, and 252 is the entire year. And on the basis of that, basically what I'm trying to do next is giving it a signal. So 1 means buy, -1 means sell. So 1 means buy because STMA, that is short-term moving average, is going above the long-term moving average, and -1 as sell, because whenever the short-term moving average is going below. So it's a continuous trading process then. And in order to understand how the strategy is performing, what we'll do is we'll calculate the stock return. So stock return is a simple percentage change on the closing prices, and the strategy return is basically multiplying the stock return with these signals. So for an example, imagine you took a buy trade and the market goes down by, say, 1%. So your buy would be 1 and your performance would be -1 into 1, so -1%. And if you take a short trade, say -1, and the market goes down, then it's -1% into -1, so you can make 1%. So that is how we basically take it as strategy return. And just to see if everything's working well and we're getting the right data, we run this, and we see that it's working. I'm sorry, my internet might be a little bit slow. So just to, okay, I have, yeah, so this is how basically it'll look. So open high, low close, STMA, LTMA, signal, and stock returns and strategy return. Now, basically what we're trying to do is we're trying to plot the entire strategy return. And we see this chart, which is getting computed, which is the data which we'll be getting in this particular column, in the data set. And this is basically how the strategy is performed over the years. Now, after this, we basically try to look into different performance metrics. So we are calculating this Sharpe ratio. We're calculating CAGR. These are simple formula for Sharpe ratio, which we calculate over the data. The CAGR, just trying to understand what's the compounded annual growth rate has been, the maximum drawdown, and this particular, which you're seeing, is just to see what the how on the plot it would look like, how the points of maximum drawdown would look like on when we plot it. And as I told you, the library of tabulate which we use is to compile all the ratios and to see in a tabular form how it looks. So when we do, we actually see that the strategy is not performed so well. It's a very simple strategy. Obviously, when you will be backtesting it and kind of optimizing it, you'll get a better result. Obviously, there are a lot of biases also that come into picture when you're backtesting, so you have to be very careful. And I'll share with you a few links also, which will help you understand. And you can read to see how to avoid different backtesting biases and to avoid common mistakes in backtesting. And here we see that the CAGR is 7%, the Sharpe ratio at 0.04, and the maximum drawdown. So it's probably a very bad strategy. So don't use this. But for practice, I think you can go ahead with it. Now, well, now that we have done the little bit of strategy creation and understood the backtesting, these are the links which I was talking about. I'll be sending it across to you in the chat. And you can read these articles to understand more about backtesting. So in a nutshell, what we've right now understood is that quant analysis requires mathematics and statistics. You have to have an interest in it because you'll be dealing with a lot of data. In strategy building, you will be looking at programming and coding. We use Python because Python is one of the easiest languages to learn. Within a few hours, you can get a very good hang on the basics, and it is basically very well. It performs really well as well. So that is why the optimum choice for choosing a programming language when you're doing strategy building is Python. And for backtesting, as I told you, there were a few ratios, for example, Sortino ratio, Sharpe ratio, CAGR, maximum drawdown. To understand all of these things, you basically need a little bit of understanding of finance. So these all things, when amalgamated, can basically help you create a wonderful automated trading strategy. This was the picture which I was talking about. Basically, we get the data source. So as you remember from Y Finance, we got the data, and then we created we're assuming that we created the analysis and we had the strategy in place using Python. So basically the data gets fed into the analysis, understands it, and then according to that, it sends the signal. So the -1, +1, the buy and sell signals gets to the trading platform, it gets executed. However, in this phase, you have to link it to the API, and the API, which we'll discuss in depth, would be IBridgePy now. So for paper trading or for live trading, we'll try to understand from Dr. Hui Liu how basically Dr. IBridgePy works and what are the recent and brand new features it has. So over to you, Dr. Hui Liu.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Okay, yes. Let me share my screen. I'm not sure if okay, here. Show my screen. So can you see my screen? Okay, looks good. Thank you very much. Thank you for introduction. And my name is Hui Liu. I got my PhD from University of Virginia in United States, and I have a MBA degree from University of Indiana, United States. Right now, I live in San Jose, California, United States. Maybe this city is not familiar with you, but Silicon Valley is another name for this city. My email is IBridgePy@gmail.com, and IBridgePy.com is the website. You can get the IBridgePy package actually. So, and for today's session, I'm going to talk about the algorithm trading with TD Ameritrade, interactive brokers using Python actually. And next, here is the content for my talk. First, I'm going to have a very brief introduction about algorithm trading, actually very brief. Then after you have a great strategy, you need to get connected to a broker to execute your trade actually. So I give a brief introduction about the TD Ameritrade because it offers zero commission trading. And I'll briefly talk about interactive brokers, which is the leading company in the algo trading brokers actually. There's a lot of advantage, especially their API technologies. Then I will spend most of my time to talk about IBridgePy, which is a Python algo trading platform. First, I will tell IBridgePy is very easy to download and unzip. It's just a zip file. And then I will talk about 3 cornerstones. First is the show real-time price, then get historical data. Third one is place orders. I will give you a live demo because right now US market is open so that we can see the order are placed and how we get real-time prices. The reason I call them 3 cornerstones because using these 3 cornerstones, you can build pretty complicated strategies. For example, we can build moving average as a detailed talk about in the session. And then I will give you 3 sample strategies. The first one is rebalance portfolio. The second one is mean reverse strategy. I call it buy low and sell high strategy. The third one will be catch the trend strategy, which is moving average crossover. Actually, you just learned the basic idea about moving average crossover. Now it's time to learn how to make it happen in live market. That's very important. Then I will very briefly talk about backtesting using IBridgePy because IBridgePy support backtesting and live trade in one platform. You can very easily switch them. Then I will give a brief summary. So algo trading, we just talked about algo trading, which is a method to execute orders using automated pre-programmed trading instructions to send out orders. I'd like to briefly talk about the benefits about algo trading. The first thing I would like to say is if you get used to algo trading, it will be much less pressure because you don't need to constantly watching the market. Like in this picture, you are facing 8 screens and tens of charts and a lot of information. Trust me, it's a lot of pressure for the trader when they facing these screens actually. If you switch to algo trading, a lot of things or most of things or all of things can be done by a program. so you can enjoy your time. Also, when you are doing algo trading, it will definitely less human errors. I will give you an example. One time, when I tried to buy some stocks, but actually I was using my cell phone and accidentally I put a minus sign in front of the number of shares, and I click submit. Then the final result is I just short sell a stock. That's not what I want. But think about if you switch to algo trading and the program will do what exactly you told it to do. So less human errors. Also, more free time because less manual work. So that's the benefit of algo trading. And then I want to talk about what do you need to do algo trading. Think about facing a lot of screens instead of you just sit there and watch your robot is doing what you want it to do. So the first thing you need to do is you need to have a broker to do algo trading. And then just like 90% of your time, maybe you are doing research on strategies. So that's very important. After that, if you want to do algo trading, you need to translate your strategies into Python code. However, my suggestion to traders is don't spend your time on coding, but spend your time on looking for good strategies. How can we reach that? Use a trading platform like IBridgePy, because IBridgePy has taken care of most of the coding problems for you, so that traders just focus on trading instead of on coding part. Then after you have a Python program, then you need a desktop, or if you want, you can have a cloud machine, and then deploy the IBridgePy into either the desktop or cloud machine and let it run. It can run continuously, weeks, months, even years. So the trading platform to execute code, that's what IBridgePy came in. Internet, definitely you need to get connected to broker's computer to your computer. Then you need internet. So let's quickly talk about brokers. TD Ameritrade, I call it TD, is US-based brokerage firm, and it offers electronic trading platform, which means you can use API to trade, and this is their website. And the catching thing from TD Ameritrade is their zero commission trading. So think about every time you need to pay a little bit of fee for commission, and right now you can save it. And IBridgePy supports algo trading with TD Ameritrade already. Next one I'm going to talk about is interactive brokers. I would say based on my personal research, interactive brokers provide the best API solution in the industry. If you want to know more about interactive brokers, you can go to their website and click YIBKR. And I would like to talk about a little bit about the lowest cost. I won't say it's the lowest cost, but their pricing structure is very competitive, depending on what kind of contracts you are interested in. And then their API technology, premier technology, I think that's the most important thing for interactive brokers. Think about most of the small and medium hedge funds in Wall Street are using interactive broker to automate their trading actually. And IBridgePy supports algo trading with interactive brokers. Robinhood is another US-based brokerage, and it gained a lot of popularity because they focused on using cell phone to do trading. That's just shown in this picture. And I want to say IBridgePy also supports algo trading with Robinhood, and Robinhood claim it's also commission-free. So it's pretty good broker as well. Then after talk about broker, then we talk about Python platform. IBridgePy is a Python trading platform. The reason I call it platform because IBridgePy has taken care of most of the coding parts so that traders just can set up a trading algorithm on their computer or virtual computer in a cloud just very quickly. In the following, I will give you an example of how simple the strategy can be when you are using IBridgePy. Advantages of IBridgePy. The first and the most important advantage of IBridgePy is to protect traders' intellectual properties, which means you install IBridgePy in your computer, not third-party online platform, and you can have full control of your code, your source code, everything. You don't need to disclose to anyone that you don't want. Compared to online platform, you need to upload your code to their website, and then they will handle everything for you, which means you need to disclose your strategies. And IBridgePy, that's the top reason to using IBridgePy. Then IBridgePy support backtest and live trading together, so you can easily backtest and live trade. Pretty much no change on your code. You just change the command a little bit. Also, IBridgePy can use any Python packages. For example, you can use AI or machine learning packages, whatever you want. IBridgePy supports to trade with different brokers, and also it can manage multiple accounts, which is a big feature for hedge fund managers. Think about they need to handle multiple accounts at the same time. Definitely they need a good tool to help to manage multiple accounts. If you have heard of Quantitative is actually the pioneer Python algo trading company, and IBridgePy supports Quantitative algorithms so that you can research on Quantitative and then just simply copy paste to IBridgePy, and IBridgePy can run it with minimum changes. Okay, then set up IBridgePy is very simple. You just visit this website, ibridgepy.com/download, and then look for the correct link for you because IBridgePy support Mac, Windows, or Ubuntu Linux. Also, IBridgePy supports Python 2.7, 3.7, 3.8, and if in the future 3.9 or 4 something, IBridgePy will support swiftly actually. So you need to download the correct IBridgePy version because you need to know your system. Then if you don't have an account, just create an account. Otherwise, just log in, download it, and unzip. That's it. Very simple. No setup. Okay, then it's a time to give a quick demo on IBridgePy. After let's switch to the, actually, I'm using Anaconda because I'm using Windows, and this is the Spider IDE, come with Anaconda Python, and it's very easy to use. So I organize the windows like the left part is editor, the right-hand side is the files so that you know where your files are. And the lower right part is the IPython console. So you can easily see the result. After you unzipped IBridgePy, it's just actually, this is the folder IBridgePy. And so look for a file called runme.py. But for my demonstration, I created runme_demo.py, and I open it here. So let's use interactive broker as a demonstration. So what you need to do, just quickly set up or use the TWS, which is the Interactive Brokers Trading Platform. The setup in Interactive Broker is very simple. You just need to go to settings and then go to config. I won't show it here. What you need to do is go to YouTube and go to, actually, go to this link or go to YouTube, just search IBridgePy and then click subscribe. There are a lot of tutorials and you will find tutorials about how to set up interactive brokers. It's very, very simple, actually. Just simply change the port number. That's good enough. And then it's time to talk about IBridgePy itself. The runme.py is the main entrance of the whole package. And it just needs two changes. The first one is you need to know your account code. This is not the IB login. This is the account code. In the YouTube tutorial, you will find out how to look for the account. Actually, this is the account number that I'm using. You just copy this account code to IBridgePy. And then you need to decide which strategy you want to run. Here, I listed 5 example strategies, but I just want to run one of it. So I use #sign to comment out these 4 lines and just comment in this line, which means I want to run this strategy, for example. Okay, so it's time to talk about, so the first, you need to change your account code and choose an example. Let's just simply run an example, which is show my account. So I switch the file. This is example show position. And then let's run it. Yeah, that's it. So you can see I'm using this account, cash value, portfolio value, because I don't have any position, so position value is 0. If there are positions, it will show up in this section. If there are pending orders, they will show up in this section, but there's nothing right now. And this is show positions. And then, actually, I want to quickly give you a feeling about how easy to show account in IBridgePy, which is let's open the file, which is example show positions. Actually, just one line, display and scroll all, show everything you have seen there. And there are 2 functions. One is called initialize, the other one called handle data. I would like to talk about it here. The code structure in IBridgePy, there are only one required function. It's called initialize. This is a function to declare global variables for IBridgePy. It runs once at the beginning of IBridgePy, and it's required. That's all you need to do. And actually, even if it's required, you don't need to fill anything. If you don't need to initialize anything, you just put pass. Then that's good enough. Then the other 2 functions are very handy. If you want to run something every minute or every second or every hour or every day regularly, then you put whatever you want to do into the function called handle data. If you want to do something at a spot time, for example, I want to do it at 10 a.m. Eastern time every day, you can use a method called schedule function to do it. That's all you need to know, the code structure like this. If you want to know more about how to use IBridgePy, then you can go to IBridgePy documentation to understand more about how to use different functions, because there are too many functions and all of them are well designed and they are flexible and easy to use. That's one of the goals for IBridgePy. And then because right now US market is open, it's great time to give you a live market demo. Then I want to give you an example to show real-time price. The target is to print ask price of SPY. SPY is an ETF to track SP 500 index. This is an ETF. You can think about this just a stock, but actually it is an ETF. And what I want to do is I want to print the ask price every second. Think about if without the code, how can you do that? And in IBridgePy is very simple. It's like this, because initialize, I create a global variable, use the syntax of context dot security. This is the syntax. And I use a function, IBridgePy function called symbol. And SPY is the ticker of the contract. So initialize, have a global variable. Then I can use this global variable in the function of handle data here. So this one is just the contract SPY. And because handle data automatically runs every second, so everything I put into this method will be done every second. So I use a function called IBridgePy function called show real-time price. And I want the price of SPY, and I need ask price. Give it to a variable and print. This is the code structure. And let's switch to the demonstration. For Windows users, you need to restart the kernel every time, because Python console will remember everything you have done before, but that's what we want to know, what we want to do in IBridgePy. So restart the kernel for Windows user only. And then let's switch to the main entrance, which is the runme.py. Let's switch the code to show real-time price. And then let's run this code. So I just switch to the second code and then save it and run it. Okay, also I print out the timestamp so that you can see every second ask price just changed, because the market is open and it's just keep changing. Because in the function of handle data, IBridgePy runs every second. That's why the ask price is printed out every second, because I put it into the handle data function. This is the demo of show real-time price. Then let's switch to the next one, is fetch historical data. So when you are doing research, very likely you need to get historical data and calculate technical indicators. Just like the moving average, when you need to calculate moving average, the first step is to get historical data and then use a Python pandas data frame function to calculate the moving average. So that in IBridgePy, you can get historical data using a function called request historical data. And the code structure is like this. I define a contract in initialize. And then I just want to run the code once in handle data to request historical data and print out. so that I use a function. IBridgePy function is end, which means after I finish this code, IBridgePy should stop, so that handle data function just run once. And the main function to request historical data is called request historical data. It takes 3 variables. The first one is what contracts you want to ask. The second variable is what kind of bar you need. Here I want daily bar, so I put 1 day. The third variable is how many bars you want to go back. So this variable is called go back. Here I say I want go back 5 days, so 5D. And the return is a pandas data frame with a timestamp, open, high, low, close, and volume. And then we print it out, use a print. Let's do a real-time demo. Let's switch, go to the main entrance, which is runme.py, and then switch the strategy is example, get historical data simple. And then let's run it. Okay. As expected, print out file name, IBridgePy version, value, account code, and then print out the historical data. The last row of historical data is today, and then end because I want it to stop, just run it once. So it got historical data because this one is pandas data frame, so you can do any calculations you want to do using the pandas syntax. The next one is place order. Think about this code. I want to do something like this. I want to place a limit order of 100 shares of SPY at $99.95 as an example, when the ask price is greater than $100.01. So which means when the price go up, and then I want to place a buy order, a buy limit order. And then after I place order, just stop. So in IBridgePy, it's very simple. Let me share it. So in initialize, I define 2 variables. One is called context.security. It defines the contract which I want to trade. And then I define a variable called context.shares equals to integer 100, which means I want to buy 100 shares of SPY. Then in handle data, every second I get the real-time price, which is the ask price. If ask price is greater than $100.01, then I use an IBridgePy function called order, which is place order. And I buy SPY 100 shares and limit order, which is $99.95. Because I place order, I just want to end there. This is the code. I cannot actually, this code will not have immediate effect, so that I won't demo this one, but I would like to demo another code, which is just simply place order to see how easy to place an order actually. So let's switch to place order. This one is example to place order. As I explained, I want to play SPY, but this time I just want to buy 100 shares by market price. And then I want to use another function called order status monitor to follow up on the status. If I see the order is filled, submitted or pre-submitted, then I'm good. Then I want to display all, which means display the account, and then end the code. This is the code I want to run so that you can see TWS will say, okay, buy 100 shares, something like that. Let me give you a demo. This one is, I didn't put it there. Let me quickly do it. This one is called place order. Call it the right name. Yeah, place order, yes. So let's run it. Okay, you see, bought 100 shares of SPY at this price. And you can clearly see in the account, it print out that I bought 100 shares of SPY here, and the price cost basis is here. And order status, the order ID is IB131. The status is filled, which means it becomes on position, and it show up in the position. And this action is buy, market 100 shares, time in force is day, and the contract is SPY. This is demo of how to place an order in live market. After we have 3 cornerstones, then we can build algo strategies already. These are the basic steps to build algo strategies. So first you need to think about what kind of contracts do we want to trade. So you use IBridgePy function symbol or super symbol to define contract. Then the next question you need to answer is how often do you plan to make trading decisions? Per second, per minute, per hour, or per 10 minutes, something like that. If you do something regularly, then use handle data. If you want to schedule something as you want, then use a function called schedule function. Then the next question is, do you need to calculate technical data, technical indicators? If yes, then you need to use request historical data to fetch historical data from broker, and then using pandas data frame to calculate it, technical indicators. The last step is what kind of order types you want to place. As the demo, I use market order and limit order. And if you need, you can still use stop order to place orders. So after these questions are answered, then we can talk about strategy. This is a demo strategy. This is something like this. I want to rebalance my portfolio based on my trading instructions every day. Yeah, just rebalance. This is a very popular thing. A lot of fund managers would like to do. So in the execution part, I will manually give trading instructions every day based on my fundamental analysis. For example, I want to buy 30% of my portfolio is SPY, 30%, for example, TLT, or 40% is GLD. Then my instruction to the code, I can use a Python dictionary like this. Oh, there's a typo there. It should be this. And then I want to rebalance at 3:59 Eastern time, which is 1 minute before US market close. Think about if you want to do it manually, what will you do? Then very likely you need to sit in front of the monitor and then watch your clock until this time, and then click, 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 place order, place order, place order. Think about it if you are a fund manager. You have a lot of accounts. How will you do it? It's not easy, actually. Definitely not easy. Then in IBridgePy, then we need these functions. We use symbols to define contract. We use schedule function to schedule something. We use we don't need historical data, and we use market order to execute for better execution result. Let's take a look about the code. It's crazily simple like this. In initialize, I want to use a function called schedule function to schedule action at 3:59. This is what you need to do. And then the function I really want to run is daily func, which is scheduled by schedule function. As the trading decision, I put an example here, 30%, 30%, and 40%. Then place order using IBridgePy function called order target percentage, which will help me to transverse the percentage into the number of shares. I can give you a live demo of how I can rebalance my account. So first, let's restart the kernel. Oh, before I restart kernel, you know, I have 100 shares of SPY in my account, but my code will automatically taken care of this 100 shares because I want order target percentage. So let's go to example rebalance, and then because it's a live trade, you will see what's going on. So bought SPY bought XLE XLK as instructed, and then boom, the order are placed. It didn't show up because I didn't print anything there. But to verify that, let's go to the first code to show positions. Okay, good. Let's see, where are they? Okay, there you see position SPY, XLE, XLK. And you can see shares, cost basis. This is the strategy to rebalance my account. The next example is, this is typically a mean reversion strategy. I call it a buy low and sell high. The strategy description is, if today's close price is lower than yesterday's close price, I buy SPY using all my cash. Otherwise, sell off all positions. This is the strategy. So this is typically a daily reversion strategy. And I just want to trade SPY. And I need to calculate the price. So I need to request historical data to get yesterday's price and today's price. The trading decision made at spot time, which means I need to use schedule function to do it. I want to place market order. Let's see how simple the code is in IBridgePy. Exactly same code to schedule something 1 minute before market close. And then the trading decision is crazily simple, which is request historical data. I just want 2 days. And then the close price of yesterday is this one. The close price of today is this one. If close price is higher than yesterday, then I sell off all my positions. I use 0%. I use order target percentage. Otherwise, I buy all cash in. 1.0, which means 100% of my portfolio go to this contract. So this is a typical mean reversion strategy. It's very, very simple in IBridgePy. The next example is a moving average crossover. The moving average crossover is if the fast moving average starts to jump higher than the slow moving average, we buy SPY using all cash. Otherwise, sell off all positions. You can go to this Wikipedia to understand this strategy more. And here is the bar chart. Actually, this is not a bar chart, but this is the moving average calculation. The red line is the quick moving average. The blue line is the slow moving average. When they cross over, we think this is a trading opportunity. For example, this is a buy trading opportunity because fast moving average jumping higher than the slow moving average at this point. And then you can see the price go up. And then this is the sell point. And the buy point, sell point. We want to trade based on moving average. So this is a typical trend strategy and daily trend strategy. Because I need to calculate the moving average, so I need to use historical data. Decisions are made at spot time, which is 1 minute before the market close, and I want to place market order. How can we do that? Still very simple in IBridgePy. You just copy the code to schedule your function to run at 1 minute before the market close. And then you do something like this. First, retrieve historical data. I put dot history instead of request historical data because this is the syntax in Quantopian, because IBridgePy also supports Quantopian's code. So I can do that in IBridgePy. So I got historical data, go back to 80 days. Oh, 80 days, maybe not enough, 100 days. Because I need to calculate the moving average of 90 and 30. This is the fast moving average value. -1 means the latest fast moving average value. And this is the slow moving average because this is averaged by 90 days. And if the fast moving average is higher than the slow moving average, which means that this part in the chart, I want to buy 100% of my portfolio. Otherwise, I just want to sell all of my positions. This is the moving average, how you can make it happen in IBridgePy, and then you can do the trading, either paper trading or live trading. Backtesting fundamentals. After you build your strategies in IBridgePy, you can apply historical data apply your historical data on your strategies and see how good the strategy is and compare the strategy with the predicted result to see how good it is. For example, in IBridgePy, we can do backtesting. Let's open testme.py. This is the main entrance of IBridgePy testing platform. This is testme.py. Okay, the first thing you need to do is exactly same as runme.py. You need to choose which strategy you want to backtest. Here, I want to backtest the close price reversion, which is a buy low, sell high strategy. This is what I want to backtest. You need to give an account code because you need to fetch historical data from IB. So you need to give account code. Data provider name, you put IB because you want to get data there. Run mode, I want to test it, run like Quantopian mode. The next part is a little bit longer, but actually concept is very simple. You need to tell IBridgePy what kind of historical data you need. In this strategy, you need 1 minute bar data because you need to do trade, and IBridgePy need to know the price to simulate the trade. Also, because you request historical data of daily bar, so that you need a daily bar chart, and you need to go back 10 days or 30 days to calculate whatever number you want. And this is to prepare historical data. If you want, you can add more historical data if you need. Otherwise, just comment them out. The next part is what you need to define is the simulation end time and start time. When this one is auto, which means IBridgePy will automatically create the simulation time and run it for you. If you want to run 1 minute, you just put 1T there. So it will run 4 days ago until the current day. So let's run it. Okay, simulation started, end. Oh, okay, let's take a look. So first, data ingestion starts. IBridgePy ingested historical data of SPY, daily bar, 30 days. SPY, minute bar, go back 10 days. And then print out account information, and this one is the simulation number. And after initialize, the daily function is triggered, and you can see the simulation actually start to buy SPY and sell SPY there. This is the simulation. The simulation result is saved at a file at IBridgePy folder called output. And the balance, this is the simulation result. This is the account balance result. You can see we make money, $966. If you want to see the transaction details, it shows up. Bought 300 shares, sold 300 shares there. Then the next step is, what if I want to see the simulation result? What should I do? What you can do is go to a file called performance analysis chart. Actually, because the simulation result is pretty short on my demonstration, so I made a fake balance log. It's just a TXT file, and I save it there. This is just a fake numbers, actually. I just want to, this is actually the balance, a fake balance log from the simulation result, and see if we run it, see how it goes. Actually, it makes chart, looks like this. Also, it calculates Sharpe ratio, annualized Sharpe ratio is 2.68. This is how you analyze your backtesting results. If you want to add more statistics, you can simply add it there. You can see I calculate mean, I calculate standard deviation, and calculate annualized Sharpe ratio. And you can add whatever you want there to calculate your statistics. The next part is IBridgePy is able to handle multiple accounts. It's a very useful feature for fund managers. Think about you want to rebalance account, but you have multiple accounts. In IBridgePy, it's very simple. You just say, I want to place order to account 1, and I want to place this order to account number 2. And then IBridgePy will take care of it for you. In summary, IBridgePy can help you set up your own algo trading platform, backtest and live trade together, trade with different brokers, manage multiple accounts. IBridgePy is flexible and easy to use. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me at ibridgepy@gmail.com. Actually, if you need help on coding, you can check out our well-known Rent a Coder service, which is IBridgePy/Rent-a-Coder service. We will help you to code your strategy. You just spend your time on trading. We help on coding. Then don't forget to subscribe to YouTube channel and it's free, and a lot of tutorials will come. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you so much, Dr. Liu. It was a wonderful presentation. I'm sure our audience today got to know a lot about how they can use the IBridgePy API. And also the backtesting bit was covered, which was wonderful. I think a lot of questions are coming in on the basis of to see the code which was presented earlier for the moving average crossover strategy. I'll just take over the controls.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
Okay, yes, yeah, okay. So should we start a QA session or we have others?
So just before we start off with the Q&A session, I was thinking that we could have the audience know how they can take the step further from here, because I think there was so much information shown to them. The structure of how they can take the next step forward would be great. So just to first let the audience take the screenshot of the strategy. It's a very simple strategy. You can probably take the screenshots now, just to see the codes and just to understand how basically the structure would lie. And now just one step which is there is what is the next step forward. So basically all the information you got, it's very, very structurally and very thoughtfully presented in this free course called Python for Trading Basic, which is available on the Quantitative platform. I'll show you basically what the course entails. You will understand the basics of Python, the expressions, data structures, importing data, which I did there, using various libraries and, using Wire Finance, data visualization, which where I made the charts. Now the functions, the two libraries, which are very, very important libraries, NumPy and Pandas, and conditional statements and loop. So you can basically check this course out to understand the basics of Python and how you can use it for trading. And after that, when you will understand, how basically the structure is done, you can go in for the Python for Trading course, and later you can check out this particular learning track, which is learning track automated trading using Python and interactive brokers. In this particular learning track, you'll also find one course, which will be focusing on how you can use IBridgePy for the interactive brokers platform. And these are basically whatever we showed you and Dr. Liu showed you. It's very thoughtfully presented in this, how the code structure is done, how to fetch data, how to order management is done, portfolio management, and finally the implementation part. So these two courses are free. Whoever's interested in actually taking these learnings and trying it out by themselves, I think this would be the good next step. And we'll be giving you the links of all the free courses we have and to the learning track, which I showed you here, which is the learning track on automated trading using Python and interactive brokers. And then you can learn confidently. Now we can come to the Q&A part. Dr. Liu, the first question which we have is, are there predefined APIs for placing bracket orders?
Yes, actually, if you go to IBridgePy documentation, you will see a function called place order with stop loss and take profit. This is a predefined function you can use for right there. You can place order with stop loss, take profit, and stop loss. In nature, they are bracket orders actually. And if you need some other more advanced bracket orders, you can build it by yourself in IBridgePy.
All right. One major question which we're getting is the applicability of IBridgePy throughout geographies. So the main countries which are covered is US, Canada, and India. So if I'm not wrong, Dr. Liu, I just wanted to understand, IBridgePy is applicable in India through Interactive Brokers platform, right?
Yes, because Interactive Broker is the leading broker and it provides many countries, and India is one of them. And so for Indian traders, you can use IBridgePy to trade the Indian market with Interactive Brokers.
All right. And I think for US markets, you have very well covered the TD Ameritrade and Robinhood and Interactive Brokers, all are applicable.
Yes.
Yes. One question that is also there is IBridgePy, can IBridgePy be used for futures and options trading, or is it just for spot trading?
Actually, you can trade any contracts are supported by Interactive Broker by a function called super symbol. Using this one, the super symbol takes variables to define more contract types. For example, stock, options, future, index, forex, and others. And here I give you example how you can write it. And stock, ETF, forex, index, futures, options, structured products. You can see this example. This is traded in Hong Kong exchange actually, and this one is a structured product. It's not stock. So that if you want to trade any contracts other than stock, you need to use super symbol. It will make it happen.
All right. Thank you so much. For another question, which we have. All right. So can we add a condition that if the total loss of the strategy is 5,000, then stop further execution for that day for 1x multiplier? So I think it's talking about the stop loss, and if the stop loss can be put in the code and can be executed through IBridgePy.
Yes, stop loss is, as I mentioned in the bracket order, you can place order with a stop loss order actually. If you have a special algorithm, you can build it by yourself in IBridgePy.
All right. I think we are way past the time which we had, and I think all the questions which are coming in are we'll answer them individually after the session. One thing that we have to tell the audience is that the session is recorded and you will be getting a link to it. And if there are any questions, you can send us all your questions to our email ID, which is contra@quantitative.com. Or if you have any questions for IBridgePy, you can send it to Dr. Liu as well. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Liu. It was a wonderful experience to have a session with you, and I hope you also had a great time, showing our audience about IBridgePy.
Thank you very much. Actually, thank you for your team to make it happen, and it's my pleasure to talk about IBridgePy for the audience. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Doctor.